Okay, hi. This is Michael Ellis, and I've been working towards this for a long time. Actually, this is based off a shamanic journey I did in like college-ish age, like 2005 to 2000, like 6 or 7-ish, sometime in there. And yeah, I was in college, and I was in art school, and there's a little visual, and I was learning shamanic journeying, for like ideas for like artwork and stuff. And this was before I got into electrical school. And I was reading a lot of fringe stuff on the internet. I was like into all the fringe stuff, like Orgonite and stuff well before I went into college. And I was into free energy and stuff. I like the fringe physics and all that good stuff. I wasn't too keen on the technology side, just like more the physics and the stories and stuff of the inventors. And I did this shamanic journey to the upper world. It was my first time doing that. I got up in the clouds and stuff, and then I saw the sun and the moon, and they were there, and they presented me with this coil that looked like this. You can see it has clockwise turnings on one side and counterclockwise turnings on the other side, except in this case they were triangular shaped coils or turns, anyways, and they didn't have all that extra stuff hanging off of it or a core. And they said this is the key to free energy. And I didn't quite get it at the time, but later, I was doing some experiments with these types of coils. I made a really big one with some hookup wire and tape around a steel rod, and I plugged it into a regulated power supply, and charged it up, and then I did some measurements on it with my oscilloscope. Like it was, I kind of got the idea that it was like storing energy or whatever, but it really wasn't doing anything like oscillating or any of that fun stuff. So I turned the scope off. I was done with the coil, so I went to turn the power off on the power supply, and that was a bad idea because that probably turned off whatever protections were in place on the power supply, because the coil discharged into the power supply unit, and there was smoke, and there was some loud noises, and it probably was. I was pretty safe, considering it could have actually caused a fire. All the energy coming out of that coil. So I decided not to do that again. So I did some other experiments with it, and I think I got the idea that what if I used it with a core, like a magnetic core, like a piece of iron, and used it as a power supply or as a power source, because considering that we live in like this sea of magnetism, and supposedly there's this magnetic energy all around us. I've done like the experiments with like the oscillators and stuff, like the, what are they, like the relay one with the Imhotep, the relay oscillator, where you just make a noisy relay, and it has some little protections in there, and like a little closed loop, and then it like creates this like radiant energy, like bouncing ground type of thing, and that back pulses the battery, and it also back pulses the source of that current if you measure it. Like I used a regulated power supply on mine, and it was back pulsing at like 48 volts or something from a 12 volt source, and and that was just like a noisy, chattery relay. You know, you could get all sorts of cool stuff just based on that. But but I thought, you know, what if I used it as a power supply? Maybe, you know, I could like create like a magnetic sink or whatever with it. And so I got like kind of fooling around with that idea. You know, looking up on my oscilloscope, you know, it's just like the 60 hertz noise. But then I got some crazy idea. What if I used it as like a, for what it's worth, a like a sort of transformer almost, but with a like DC transformer. I don't know. It's like hard to explain. But you have the magnetism, okay? So you're drawing current off of it. But what if it's like a I don't know how to explain it. Or not a DC per se, but like it has a positive side, has a negative side, and it has a neutral side. And what if I fed that through whatchamacallit, well, I guess it wouldn't have a positive or neutral or whatever side. It could be oscillating, but if I had like a three-way sort of bridge rectifier, and kind of tried to course everything into a positive and negative side as far as oscillations went. So I came up with this idea of a three-way bridge rectifier. You know, so given that this was some oscillating source of energy that came out in three different currents, so I need three different ways to rectify this. So because you know, you had the left hand coil, you had the right hand coil, and then you had what came out the middle, which was the neutral reference. So I'd need three different rectifications. So I made like a bridge rectifier out of diodes, rectifying diodes. And here's the schematic, if you're more into schematics than actually looking at things. But so the diodes run one for the positive half is what I call it, one for the negative half, and one for the neutral, which is coming out of the middle of the coil. And you can see how all three are directed towards the negative, all three connect up in the middle, and all three are directed towards the positive. And then you get the output, and you run that across like a capacitor or something, so it actually charges that up. And yeah, I did that, and you know, I was actually really hopeful, because like I saw for a second across the screen on my oscilloscope when I was hooking it up, it had a nice little positive, like truncated wave, and I was like, oh yes, I finally got something. And then it went away. So then I was like messing around with it a little bit more, and I got the wave again. But the problem was, as soon as I moved my this little core transformer off of my soldering soldering platform, like a third hand soldering platform, the wave went away. So then it made me realize what exactly this type of technology was. So this is a magnetic type of technology, but you need something that sinks the magnetic energy, or is a good magnetic conductor type of technology for this to work. Like as this is, you can't get a lot of energy out of it. You're not going to, because it just simply isn't strong enough as a core or enough windings like as this is. So either you need to add more windings, or you need to get a bigger core, or simply like drive it into the earth or something like that, or put it next to something big that's metallic or something like that, or that's ferromagnetic. So yeah, that's what I learned today. So that's today's lesson. So this is copyrighted, but so I call this the compression coil, by the way. Ever since I invented it, I've been calling it the compression coil, kind of as a throwback to Firefly. And I thought it would be cool to call it the compression coil, because, you know, just the whole thing the Firefly was, or Serenity was based on. So I call this a compression coil, and it has one equal windings of counterclockwise and clockwise, and then it has a neutral in the middle, a positive winding end, and a negative winding end. And it goes through the three-way bridge rectifier, which I haven't seen anywhere at all, that actually being used. So, so that's my own invention, I guess. I don't know if you really need the neutral one or not, but I just made it just for the heck of it. And it's made with just a plain iron core. If you have a better core, you'd probably get better results out of it, like a bigger, longer core, or really, it's like something huge, like my art stand thing right there, for my something that big, massive, that was pure steel or something, would probably get a better signal. I don't know. I kind of want to try something embedded in orgonite, or like a cloudbuster pipe or something with this winding on it, to see if that would work. Because those are not supposed to connect up to magnetic energy. But anyways, so yeah, so that's my current situation. I want to try to get like a big, huge galvanized rod and drive it into the earth and see if that gives off a better signal. So these are all going to be 60 hertz because that's what the earth runs on. That's why Tesla chose that frequency for the grid. So there's that. And so yeah, that's what the thing runs on. And it's just the Earth's magnetic field, so it's picks energy up from there. It's not magical or made up or nonsense. It runs on the energy in the air. So the Earth is constantly bombarded with particles from the sun 24 hours a day, goes in the magnetic poles, it churns the core, and we're bathed in tons of magnetic energy and neutrinos and cosmic rays and whatnot all the time. It conglomerates in the magnetic and electric spheres and the plasma spheres and whatnot. So it's not like this energy comes from nowhere. It's not like we aren't constantly bathed in streams of multitudes and different types of energies. So if you're trying to pick up magnetic energy from, a planet that spins around on a magnetic dynamo from an iron core, well, I guess the energy is just there. Who would have known? Who would have known that we had magnetic energy all around us? I mean, our planet is freaking an iron core and it spins on magnetic energy. I don't know. Just a thought. So, anyways, thanks for watching. This is Michael Ellis.